Warm welcome to all of you. I take a personal time to speak for something very interesting and something very important to you. So, if you are here at 10 p.m. right now, one thing it proves that you are seriously and sincerely looking something to do. But you know what? What I'm going to cover today is so important that if you just listen it like a movie, chances are high you may end up missing something really important. So what I will encourage before I start, why don't I give you 5 minutes of your time, and that 5 minutes what you should do is take out a place where nobody can disturb you, because today we are in an era of digital world where everybody disturbs us every 30 seconds. Very difficult to keep concentration. Second thing I would encourage, that take a notepad and a pen so that you are having some important point to jot down. I have kept very few slides for you, around 20 slides, which can give you something to note down. But most importantly, what I want is just don't listen, try to participate internally. When I say participate, put your soul and mind into it. Why is it so important? Because I remember 2008 onwards when I started working on a business idea, which I'll talk in detail. But before that, let me give you 5 minutes right now. Take your 5 minutes, arrange a pen and a paper, and find an isolated place to sit peacefully so that nobody can disturb you for the next 35 to 40 minutes. I'll meet you up again in 5 minutes. See you soon. Alright, so I'm back, and I'm sure you have got your proper place to sit around and not relax and learn whatever best. So first, few caveats to start with. Number one, whatever I'm talking right now is out of my personal experience of life. It is not something theoretical, it is not something taken from somebody else, it's something which I have learned. So the biggest question you will have is, who is Vijay and why should I listen to him? So let me tell you, you don't have to listen to me. Actually, you have all the choice not to listen. But we have heard somewhere that the best experience you can learn, our life is short. If you have a practical example, let's say we are going to live for 65 and 25 years to 30 years will go in education, because engineering or any professional course you complete, and if you've done from basic English medium background, then 22 to 23 years would go just to get a bachelor's. And after that, you said go for masters nowadays, because the way of competition is just a basic bachelor degree becomes insufficient for a good career. Most of you prefer masters. So it means 26 to 27 years will go smoothly just for getting a basic education, right? And after that, we have next 25 years for our career to grow. Now imagine in your 25 years, if everything you have to learn from your experience, you know how much of effort you need to put just to learn everything from your own experience? Very difficult. So if you want to save your time, you can go through my experience, otherwise you have all the right not to listen. Now, why you should listen? First, three things which is unique, which I am having right now, which you can also relate. I am not Ambani, I am not Bill Gates, I am not any of those guys who are having some big massive companies, because they are very, very few. But I am somebody who is like you, who was just from a little bit simple middle class family. Let me give you my background a little bit. My roots are from Rajasthan, but I have grown up in Orissa, and I did my BTech and schooling and everything from Orissa. BTech I did from UC Burla, which is currently VSS UT, and in 2002 I completed in electrical engineering. Then I did for masters from IIT Madras in microelectronics and VLSI. The branch which I chose was because that was the best branch at that time. And then I had a regular career like you. I started my VLSI career in 2006. With my first VLSI company was ARM. If some of you are not aware of it, this is a company which makes the best processor in the world, and all the devices which are using today, they have ARM processor or Qualcomm processor, and I've worked in both. So ARM I worked for some time, then moved on to Qualcomm, and Qualcomm I worked for 3.5 years. That was the biggest, highest tenure I have worked for any company. And then moved on to a startup company for 6 months to get exposure of startup also, and then moved on to Texas Instrument, where I invested for 1 year. I thought that I'd retire from that company, but the company had other plan, and their OMAP group got closed, so I had no other option, moved to Cadence. And through Cadence, I served 7 companies. So if you talk about, I got in our industry, the electronic industry, I worked in all the companies which is possible. And after that, I can tell you with my own experience that job is good to have good life, but if you have craving to do something beyond, job has a limitation. And that's where the question comes. So when I'm talking about the 6 landmines of, with the topic which was so interesting, I'm sure you came for that, the 6 landmines of startup, I'm talking from a perspective of a startup which an ordinary person of our background starts. Now I'll give you 2 perspectives here. Perspective number 1, somebody who is 1% or not even 1%, 0.0001%. These people, if they fail, the country pays. What does it mean? Take an example. Lehman Brothers failed, the world paid. Kingfisher failed, the world paid. Now, these people, if they fail, the whole world is suffering. Alright? But you would be surprised, the statistics say something different. The statistics says that the 40% of the companies which starts get closed in the first 1 year itself. And then in the next 4 years, which is 5 years overall, 90% to 80% companies go away. Now when these companies close, the country do not suffer. The person who suffers is the guy who starts the company and his family. Like if Kingfisher failed, it's the money of the country, no? Everybody lost. But when a startup company failed, somebody's 20 lakhs or somebody's 30 lakh fails. That's the whole idea. That's why I'm coming from that background, that we are somebody who is having a job and we think of doing a startup. Where we do the error, what is the problem, that's what I'm going to discuss. So we'll have 3 phases of discussion here. The first phase, which I will take you through, is understanding where is the problem. That's the first phase. Second phase would be, after you understand, let us define the problem. And the third phase will be solution. It's quite a deeper topic, actually very deep topic to cover in 30 to 40 minutes, because human attention span is not beyond 30 to 40 minutes. So I cannot take 3 hours for you, I can just keep it 30, 35, sweet 35 minutes, so that you can get the maximum idea out of it. So I'll keep it very short for you. So first let us understand where this problem is coming from. The problem is coming from a very simple source. Every one of us have a 3 personality. By the way, the reference which I'm taking is a very good book which saved me 10 years, by the way. And if you also have a dream of entrepreneurship in your future, you should also buy this book today itself. I am not the author, so I don't get any money. If I'm promoting it, is for you. The book is E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. Amazing book. This book talks about 3 personalities inside this. In my slides also I've shown. The first personality, he talks, every one of us has 3 personalities. Number 1, there's an entrepreneur. Number 2, there is a manager inside us. And number 3, there is a technical person. Now let me define technical. When I say technical person, I'm not referring to Java or .NET or something. I'm talking about technical means assuming you are a lawyer. So if you do a professor of law, that is technical. When I'm talking about, let's say you are a doctor and you are following your doctor profession, then that means you are actually a technical person. And let's say you're a chartered accountant and you're doing accounting work, that is technical work. So that is what I mean by technical work. Inside us, there are 3 personalities, and that is where the chaos happens. Now let me give you exactly how somebody gets into startup, how somebody starts. And let me tell you a very simple study which I did. In 2008, when I was really fed up with job and I said something I need to do on my own. What I did first thing was, because in IITs we used to write papers, IEEE papers we have to write. So what is the first thing we do when we write paper? We refer at least 500 papers to write one paper. Same thing I did. I wanted to understand, what do people of my background who start something, what do they do? You trust on me and you should do it this weekend itself. There's Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow and day after, there's Saturday and Sunday. What you should do is go on to LinkedIn, try to see profiles of 20 years experience, actually, because that's enough lifespan of somebody to start anything. 20 years of lifespan you take, and what you will find is something amazing. What you will find is like this. So what I did was I studied from all, not only college, from all the walks of life. I studied 1,000 people. And what I found, somewhere deep within, there's a craving which comes in somebody after 5 years or 6 years. Man, I want to start something of my own. This craving comes after 5 or 6 years. Why? Very simple. Because when you start your career, typically, what happens is, for first 2 to 3 years, what is the intention you have? Okay, let me get into a job, let me learn some trade, and once I learn, I'll start the company. That's what he feels. That's what exactly he feels. And is there anything wrong? Absolutely not. That's a technical person inside you who's speaking. Alright? And what he does, so first 2 to 3 years goes, he learns something technical, let's say Java, .NET or whatever. I mean, if you're an accounting guy, you learn accounting, you understand how corporate works. And once you have done it properly, now what you start thinking, and you start understanding the billing system of companies. Let's example, if I give a quote example of Infosys, assume you work in Infosys. And what you see is, when after 7-8 years of experience, you understand the billing cycle of Infosys. And what you find is so amazing. You find, let's say, a company bills an employee for $1,000 or something, just an X number I'm giving, $1,000 per hour, assuming. And the employee which gets salary is hardly $100. Immediately, what do the techie guy think? Oh my God, my $1,000, Infosys is taking 900 and giving me 100. Why don't I do one thing? Forget this company itself. I will start my own company and I will do all the work. Now see, this is a techie guy who's speaking inside you. Nothing wrong. That's how I will start, and that's what he thinks. That's where the problem begins. So now we'll talk about 6 landmines, and I'll take this story step by step. So this is the first thinking which comes in. So after 7-8 years in job, we start feeling that stick inside, and you start feeling, man, my work is not giving me the amount which I want. Rather, I have to do something now which can give me maximum returns. So what he does, he starts thinking to start a company. Now remember, if you are technically strong means in your profession you are really, really, really strong. Biggest challenge you'll face when you start a company thinking I am good in this area, the biggest first landmine of your life is this only, that I am technically good. It means I understand my profession in a proper way. It means I do understand the business which does the technical work. Biggest challenge. The first landmine, so I have jotted down 6 landmines you can see in the slide. The 6 landmines which I'm talking about, the first landmine is technical, your technical knowledge. Second landmine which you will always face is imbalance of 3 personalities which I talked about, right? I'll go into more detail. The 3 personalities which a person has, there's an imbalance between this. Third, there's a clarity problem. He doesn't have a vision why he's starting for, what he's starting for. Fourth biggest landmine you will face ever is not having a proper planning of the investment, proper planning of budgeting. It doesn't have this. Fifth landmine is individual talent, because somebody who's technically strong, he believes in his talent more, and because he believes in his talent, he relies on so much on his talent that he do not know what is a team and a team player is. And I'll tell you my own experience. IITians find it very difficult to be a team player. Now see, when I'm saying this, it's not coming from a criticism point of view. It's coming from a reality point of view. And I'm being IIT and I'm telling you why. Why we don't have a team spirit? Most of you who are really topper in college, you will rarely find you have a team spirit. I'm not talking exceptional cases, and I'll give you logic behind it. We get rated by CGPA system. Typically, IIT gives CGPA system. In my engineering college, there was no such CGPA concept. There was a concept of you score 70%, you score 80%. CGPA concept works on a simple principle. If everybody scores 30 marks, all get C grade. It means somebody has to get 20 marks and you have to get 30 marks to become a topper. You tell me, under this mindset, when somebody is groomed for 4 or 5 years, how in this world will be a team player? It cannot be. And that becomes a big challenge for him. The individual talent creates a problem. The last, the most important, they don't have sticking power. Because any business you do, it needs sticking power. You have to stick for it for 4 to 5 years to really make it happen. They don't have sticking power. This is 6 landmines. So let us go step by step by step. So what happens when you go through these phases, you will actually go through 4 different phases of your businesses. If you let's say start a business, so somebody who was having a technical knowledge, he got certain attack on him, entrepreneurship attack rather, Caesar. He got entrepreneurship Caesar, and he says tomorrow I'm going to start my company. Some of them have done it. By the way, they go to 4 different phases. The first phase is exhilaration phase. You're excited. Oh my God! Now onwards, I am my own boss. Exhilaration phase. Second phase will be terror. Now you're terrified. Oh my goodness, what I thought is not happening. The world is difficult. The third phase, which you will go through actually after terror phase, is now you are in a deep, deep trouble. And that phase is exhaustion phase. You were all, and you realize, man, there's no end to this work. And after this comes the situation, the last situation, despair or hopelessness, and you feel there's no hope left for me. Probably God is not with me. Probably I am not meant for entrepreneurship. Probably my entire generation is meant for job and all this blah 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 blah. And you are now in a phase. So the question is, how do you come out of this phase? First phase. So again, coming to the same journey, how we got started. So he was seeing that I am good in this particular area, which I say a word technical. So now we'll define this 3 characteristic feature of the 3 people. So technical guy, there is a manager and there is an entrepreneur. 3 personality inside one. If you do not have a balance of these 3, you will be in trouble. So let me give a characteristic feature. The next slide which you will see now, it has a characteristic feature of this. So let me define it. So I will define entrepreneur as somebody who is a visionary. So let us do a contrast of entrepreneur versus the next slide. The entrepreneur versus this one. I'll talk about the 3 phases we already talked. Now the third slide which I'm talking, next slide you see, I'm giving the comparison of a visionary versus a technician, the guy who is working. Manager versus entrepreneur, the next slide comparison, you see this. In this, what I'll give is 4 to 5 different points which somebody faces. The first point is the tussle between a vision and a pragmatism, which if otherwise I say, pragmatic is a person who is a manager, the manager inside you. Everybody has 3 personalities, right? The entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. 3 personalities. That's what the book says, and I can relate with it. So let's first compare these 2 people's mindset. The guy who is an entrepreneur mindset person and the guy who is having pragmatism or a manager. Entrepreneur do not understand gravity's law. They don't understand. When I say they don't understand gravity's law, they don't care about anything. And probably it is required. If nobody thinks different, then there's no innovation battle. That's how before, if I talk about when I was in college days, the only mobile we knew was Nokia. Touchscreen was not existing. Apple brought touchscreen because one day Steve Jobs said, man, we want a mobile just have only one button. That's it. At that time, I was looking, how it is possible, just one button. But then Steve Jobs has a clear mindset. I just need a one button. That's why they don't follow any gravity law. For them, the gravity is not existing. It's a bullshit thing. What gravity? No gravity. So they go through that. So that's the first. The entrepreneurs always have to stay in different world altogether. Man, this is what I want, and I don't care whether it will come or not. Good. It's a good point to start with. That gives you energy. It gives you everything. But understand, only this personality cannot help you, right? So there has to manager. What does the manager do? Entrepreneur has just vision. Manager has implementation plan. Okay, let's make it. Let's make a strategy. Let's make everything. That's what he does. So entrepreneur stays in future. And what the manager stays? He stays in past because he has to stay. He has to make systems. He has to make processes. Second thing. So an entrepreneur, he is the guy who wants to conquer the territory. He wants to create new house and move on to the next house. Whereas the manager, he says, no. I have created a house. I'll stay in this. Another trait of an entrepreneur versus a manager. Entrepreneur want control. Manager want law and order. You want proper things in a proper place. The most important thing. Now, I understand. The last personality I would explain is after this is another slide. You see this? I'm explaining the personality of a technical person. So we have compared two personalities. The entrepreneur inside, the manager inside. What about the technical guy? The inside you, this is a technical person also. Now, what does technical guy think? Man, if something has to happen right, it is only me who will do it. Otherwise, nobody can do it. That's how they believe. And I used to believe it for a long time. That if a thing has to go right, it is me who will do it. Otherwise, forget it. This is another problem. For technical guys, system is horrible. What system? Man, they feel suffocated inside a system. And because they feel suffocated inside a system, they don't like. So is the technical guy is a troublemaker for all the he's a big troublemaker. So he believes there's no system, he don't like systems, and he want to just work on it. For him, thinking has no meaning. If the thinking is not relating to work, like the entrepreneur, he is only thinking. He has no work, right? He doesn't do work. He just thinks, okay, he's cast a vision. This is what we want to accomplish. Technician says, forget it. What are you talking accomplishment? Do you know how much effort is required? So now understand. Can I say any of these personalities not required? Actually, you know what? A successful enterprise needs all three balance. But what we have found, what the study has found, majority of the time when people fail, actually one of them is dominating. And unfortunately, what dominates is, you see the slide I'm saying why they fail, is 10% is mostly entrepreneur, 20% is manager, and 70%, big 70% technical. That is where the problem is. If ideally would have been 35, 35, 30, it would be a great combination actually. Technical knowledge is great. Entrepreneurial knowledge is great. Actually, you need all three. And that's where the problem begins because God has gifted you with one dominant strength. And that's where the problem begins. So that's where most of the time companies fail. So now, let me relate with you two of my stories, which two of my classmates started. One of my classmates started a hotel. I stay in Bangalore, and he used to work in a very good company, and he was on-site for 3-4 years. Through on-site, he saved close to 20-30 lakhs or whatever because he was a bachelor. And he came to Bangalore, and he said, man, I have to start a hotel. Why? Because he believes, see again, technical guy. When I say technical, he believes he's a foodie, he understands food, he's a good connoisseur, he can give you right ingredient and think he was really passionate. To be honest, I was impressed by his passion towards food. He was passionate about food, which is very nice. So what is the first thing he thinks? Okay, because I love food, I will be the right person to open a hotel. Is there anything wrong with that? No. Perfect. That's good. He started. Now understand the problem. The biggest challenge of business is, if you start a business, the last thing to worry about is making a food. In the similar line, if you start an IT company, the last thing you have to worry is about coding. You cannot code. Actually, you don't have to code. So remember, so what he did, he started a company, he started a hotel, and right at the heart of the city, Marathalli, because it's a place where it's a huge, I'm talking Bangalore, if in Bangalore you can relate Marathalli, he opened a big hotel in Marathalli with an investment of close to 40 to 50 lakhs. And he thought, the biggest challenge, he thought that it can run along with the job. And what's the problem he faced? Because along with the job, what he thought, the way his mindset came, one chapati in Bangalore is selling in 40 rupees. My goodness, the manufacturing cost is not even 5 rupees. Please, there's 35 rupees margin. I'll become rich. That's what he thought. Nothing wrong in that. But you won't believe, folks. First thing what happened, he got wrong partners. All of us, we get our wrong partners. When I say wrong partners, why do we get wrong partners? Simple reason. The reason being, we rely on our friends and relatives. So he got two of his friends and they said, man, let's start hotel. Problem was, he was passionate about food. They were not. They were passionate about making money only. And there were no lazy partners or they were just sedative partners. They started, they all invested some money. Nobody was working. And this guy was working day in and day out and he was like mad about the work. And now he had no idea whether he should quit the job, whether he should run the hotel, and it became a mess. And he finally winded it up. Conclusion of the story. First, 3 errors which I found he did after reading this book and after doing his own business. First error he did was, he did not have a proper planning. His techie guy was speaking and he didn't understood that hotel is not about making food. Very, very interesting. This is a very contract plan I'm talking about. Hotel industry is not about making food. If you are going to open a hotel, for you food is not important. And that is what you will get. How food is not important? Yes, sir. I'm telling you the truth. Food is not that important. Because if food is that important, how come McDonald's is successful? We all know McDonald's burgers are not good for health. How come KFC is so successful? We know it is not good for health. And whereas I know a lot of companies, folks, they make really good food with their heart. They don't put oil, they put everything and their companies are struggling. Whereas McDonald's putting all the oil in you to make you plumpy fat and that is #1 company in the world. How come? Food doesn't matter. Let me tell you the bad news. That's the biggest shock for a techie guy. Because what he thinks, okay, there's no proper food in the country and so it will work. Actually it works by the way. It works. Why it works for some time, I'll tell you why it works. In any metro city, getting client is not a problem. Trust me, getting client is not a problem. The hotel industry is something which is everybody's close. I mean, I'm telling you, from all IT engineers think this is another industry too. Another friend of mine, I remember, he started the same thing. He started from a home-based business. He said, okay, okay, I will start my hotel, and because in his apartment there are a lot of people who say he goes to like his wife's cooking skill, and they said, man, you should cook for us. And slowly he became very popular, and they said you should open a hotel. And that's how every startup starts. So he's opened. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, there was really good news. They got orders which they cannot fulfill. Problem started now that if they hire employees are not performing that they want. Then their employee, there's tracking system, somebody has to manage finance. Tell me now, if the guy, he has to cook the food also, he has to do everything also, is it possible? That's where a techie guy fails. That's what I meant by that. Now, is there a solution to it? See, I'm not only just talking problem. There has to be a solution. The solution was this. So now let me define three different depths of the businesses. You will find three personalities, three different depths. If, let's say, deep within your technical person is alive, strongly dominated technical personality, it means what? Hands-on work. I will get it done, I am the person who will make it happen, I am the hero of the movie. Forget it. This person will get exhausted quite often and he will fail quite often. Why? One person, how much can he do? So for 3 months, 6 months, typically these businesses fails in first 6 months to 1 year. We don't know, we talk about that 40%. The first 6 months, these are the people who fail. Why? Because they rely on individual talent. So they'll hop, thinking that there is a business which can work on their individual talent, so they fail for sure. In similar IT people, I know a lot of my friends, they started some app making and all, so they kept on hopping. There's no permanent solution. Second option, let's say you're managerial dominating personality. Your managerial dominating personality means you believe in law and order, you believe in putting things in proper place. If that's your dominant personality, then you know what is the good news about it? This business will at least grow for some time because there's something proper place, proper management, at least will grow for some time. But then